be a better option, because if you had been infected, then you.
Hey everybody, this is Bill Huizenga, obviously in Washington, not in West Michigan, hoping to head back home this afternoon. But I gotta tell you, I'm gonna be walking in for our last vote here momentarily, and I am just flabbergasted that my Democrat colleagues are going to be voting affirmative on this bill, and here's one of the reasons why. This is the state of play, where not only are we going into debt for our own country, we're now going to be going into debt for other countries. And I'm gonna. And this is kind of a little awkward, but I'm gonna read a statement that I had intended to read on the House floor, but the Democrat majority limited our time this morning of 1 minute, and so I wasn't able to get that done. So I'm going to do it here with you now, and then we're going to talk a little bit about this. So here's my statement that I intend on the House floor. I rise in opposition to the partisan bill we have been debating the past couple of days. Under language inserted at the Rules Committee, the U.S. would direct the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, to lavish $3 trillion on countries around the world. This is a permanent, no-strings-attached liquidity for foreign governments. The Democrats' bill would therefore send it at least $20 billion to the world's foremost state sponsor of terrorism, Iran. It means at least $17 billion for the Assad regime in Syria. There's also more than $170 billion for the Chinese Communist Party as it takes over Hong Kong and builds internment camps, and another $75 billion for Russia. Meanwhile, an amendment I offered to prevent Americans' banks from financing Iranians who have been sanctioned for terrorism and human rights abuses wasn't even made in order by the Rules Committee. Strange priorities from the Democrats. It's obscene to attach billions of dollars for China, Russia, and state sponsors of terrorism to legislation that funds our military. I urge a no vote on this bill, and I'm going to be voting no. And this is to fund our military, and we are going to be directing the IMF, which, by the way, I had jurisdiction over at one point when I chaired one of the subcommittees on financial services. It was called the Monetary Policy and Trade Subcommittee. And so I'm very familiar with the IMF, very familiar with the good work it does, and very familiar with the bad work that it does. And I'm telling you, directing them to go spend $3 trillion on countries like China and Syria and Russia is lunacy. It's completely nuts. So this is a problem. We have to deal with it. I hope the Senate. I don't have great expectations out of Michigan's two senators, but I'm hoping that someone in the Senate realizes how foolish this is and what we would be doing if we moved ahead with this. And so again, no hearing in the committee. It got inserted in at the Rules Committee. My amendment that wouldn't allow American banks and therefore our deposits as American taxpayers be used to fund Iranian terrorists was rejected. They wouldn't even take up my amendment. Yet they slid in a directive for $3 trillion. It feels like a jillion. $3 trillion of support for countries around the world when we can't even get an agreement here in the House and the Senate about what we're going to do with the extension of unemployment or any of the other spending that we're doing. So anyway, time to take a breath. But I just hope that cooler heads prevail over in the Senate, and that they do not go in this direction. So, well, I'm getting ready to. Sorry, it just dropped. I'm getting ready to walk on the house floor with my Zealand-made Primera Plastics face shield. My friend Noel Cuellar and his great team over there pivoted from making automotive parts to face shields, and so I'm wearing that on the house floor. But so hey, everybody, I hope you have a good weekend. Enjoy a little time out in West Michigan, but just keep praying for our country, keep praying for our government, because we need it. We'll talk to you soon.
They can't save us. It's gone too far. And instead of fixing the problem, they just kept making the problem worse. I hope I'm wrong. We're going to go bankrupt. There'll probably be a new conference like the Louvre Accord or the Smithsonian Accord, and they're going to rewrite the rules of the game again. They're going to say, okay, the US dollar, you're toast, and IMF's going to jump in, China's going to jump in. But meanwhile, you and I, if you're holding dollars, you might be in serious, serious trouble. One of my tweets was New York City going broke. And the reason New York City is going broke is much of the property in New York City is commercial real estate. I own residential real estate, so we're doing pretty good. But in commercial real estate, with everybody zooming away and at home and all this, the question is, who's going to go back to work? Who wants to pay that high price for that commercial real estate? But worst of all, what value is commercial real estate, like an office building, if you don't have workers in it? All cities count on real estate taxes. So what you're going to see in the next few years is real estate taxes on your home. My apartments will go up. But when New York taxes those commercial high-rise buildings, more tenants will leave. So New York City is going broke. The beautiful city of Vancouver, Canada, is flat broke. It's just tragic what's happening, because you have these incompetent city managers who are just like my poor dad, guys with college degrees, but no common sense, you know what I mean? All the cities now count on taxes, but if small businesses closing and big commercial real estate starts closing, our cities are going broke. You add to that pensions. Pensions, mark my words, I wrote my book called Who Stole My Pension? Pensions are going to be the biggest disaster hitting America and the world today, because every day 10,000 baby boomers in America retire. Across the world, there's 2 billion old guys like me who have no money, and who's going to bail them out? And no Republican or Democrat is going to say we're not going to pay the old guys money. So that means the old guys, they're going to say, you got to bail us out. And so naturally they're going to print more money and pay the old guys just so they get reelected. So it's real estate taxes, it's small businesses going broke, it's income taxes going down, and pensions going down. So the Fed has to print more money. So that's why I keep saying buy gold, silver, and Bitcoin, because gold is getting more scarce. So let me explain why gold. So my prediction is gold in 1 year should be $3,000. So that's about $1,000 more than it is today. So in a year, it should be up another 1,000. Some people say 2,500 is optimistic. But I'd rather have the price of gold going up than your money going down. So if you're saving money, I'll pray for you tonight, because your savings are actually real money. In other words, if you worked for it and you paid the taxes on that money you worked for, that's real legitimate money. Unfortunately, the Fed is printing trillions, and they're going to pay you nothing for your savings. When I was a kid, I got 15% on my savings. Today, you get nothing. So the Fed is screwing you. That's the term. So I think gold at 3,000 in 2021, not outside the box. Silver, $40. And the reason I like silver is moving faster than gold today. And when I look at the price of gold, the high point was $1,900 approximately. I don't know what, a couple of years ago. But today it's $1,700. So gold is near its all-time high. Silver used to be about $49. And today I think it's 18. So it's about 70% below its all-time high. So silver is the best deal of all, and I think most of you can afford a $20 silver coin. And if you can't, you have deep problems. The reason I like Bitcoin is because what I understand about Bitcoin is that it just had a halving, and a halving means they print less of it. At the same time, Bitcoin is printing less, the Fed is printing trillions. Now, you don't need a degree in rocket science to figure that one out. The Fed is making the US dollar or any currency, the yen, the euro, the peso, softer. Bitcoin is getting harder. Gold is getting harder. Silver is getting harder. I don't buy gold, silver, and Bitcoin to get rich. I just hate getting screwed by the Federal Reserve Bank and the Treasury. So if you want to keep saving money and putting it in the stock market, more power to you. But all that paper stuff is printed. And the CEOs of these stock market companies, they did a side deal with the Fed. So the Fed was loaning them billions of dollars for them to jack their stock price up. So the stock prices are at this artificial high, and all mom and pop are watching their 401ks or IRAs, and the stocks are this high. And the Fed keeps printing more money, keeps giving the CEOs indirectly, because they can't do it directly. They do it through what's called SRVs, special something vehicle. And they give the CEOs the money and they pop the stock market up. That's why we're in serious trouble. That's my opinion. I hope I'm wrong. But I would rather, at this time in world history, May 2020, I'd rather have gold, silver, and Bitcoin. Thank you.
You know, coming from a different world and only being a politician for a short period of time, how am I doing? Am I doing okay? I'm president. Hey, I'm president. Can you believe it, right? It's so great to be at Mar-a-Lago with friends and the press and the media and everybody. Frankly, if Hillary Clinton were a man, I don't think she'd get 5% of the vote. The only thing she's got going is the woman's card. Hillary wants to essentially abolish the Second Amendment. By the way, and if she gets to pick her judges, nothing you can do, folks. Although the Second Amendment people, maybe there is, I don't know. But Hillary Clinton is a bigot. Hillary is so corrupt. During the campaign, Vice President Pence promised that our administration, because Mike's very much into space, would revive the National Space Council. I hate to tell you, Puerto Rico, but you've thrown our budget a little out of whack. But we do have a very special relationship. In fact, I'll get that little piece of dandruff off. That little piece.
Finland is the happiest country in the world.
Finland is a happy country.
What can you learn?
China would right now be the most powerful nation economically in the world, and right now they're not even close. No Americans were harmed in last night's attack by the Iranian regime. We suffered no casualties. Anybody that needs a test can have a test. People come up to me, they shake hands, they put their hand out. It's sort of a natural reflex.
Ethnicity does not cause the virus. Why do you keep using this? A lot
Because
of
it
people
comes
say
from
it's
China.
racist.
It's not racist at all, no, not at all. It comes from China. You know what I'd like to do? I'd like him to go back to the State Department, or as they call it, the Deep State Department, if you don't mind. I'd like to have him go back and do his job. So does anybody have any question? Please. So supposing we hit the body with a tremendous, whether it's ultraviolet or just very powerful light, and I think you said that hasn't been checked, but you're going to test it. And then I said, supposing you brought the light inside the body, which you can do either through the skin or in some other way. And I think you said you're going to test that too. Sounds interesting. Right, and then I see the disinfectant where it knocks it out in a minute. 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning?
I can be more presidential than any president that's ever held this office. That I can tell you. It's real easy.
God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you very much.